Hey there folks, how you doing today? Hope you're having an awesome day. Well, I'm here with a little unboxing and product review for you today. This is an item that was sent to me by DuraTech. I did a little digging. DuraTech is a subsidiary company of DuraTech Tools, which is based out of China. DuraTech deals mostly in mechanic and automotive tools. And curiously, SwissTech is also apparently a subgroup under DuraTech Tools. Now, as I said, this was sent to me. I did not purchase this, so I don't know what to expect, but let's unbox it and find out. There is a little QR code thing that probably is too messed up to scan, and a little bit of product information. And there is your DuraTech Tools Industry Co. Limited, made in China, and where you can find them. All right, let's get into it. All right, we've got thank you with some information. You can pause there and read if you so choose. And then just DuraTech. And product literature, DuraTech, and a pretty handy looking file there on the cover. DuraTechTools.com. And we open this up and wow, they make a lot of wrenches. There's that code if you wanted to scan it. So there you go. So yeah, they are definitely into the automotive tools and whatnot. So we'll get this out of the bag. Now this is advertised as the DuraTech 16-in-1 multi-tool knife. And there we have it. There's like a plastic housing there. Plastic housing here. Spec-wise, they say that it is 3.7 inches closed, 6 inches open with the blades, width is 1.3 inches, depth is 0.7 inches, and weight is 4.5 ounces. So let's check the weight. Comes in for me at 4.4 ounces. Your overall length by my measurements is 3.5 inches. Width about 1.25 inches. Depth comes in at just shy of 1/2 inch. And we'll sneak open a blade here. Comes in pretty bang on 6 inches. So tool-wise, right off the bat, we've got a sheep's foot style blade with kind of a saber grind to it. Edge grind looks pretty good. A wee bit of a smile down here. Not the grind, but the blade itself takes a little bit of an upsweep from this point. Grind looks pretty decent on this side, and even have a very small sharpening choil. It is a liner lock. The liner is just passing 50%. Lockup is good, there's no play. Certainly good access to the liner lock. Would have liked to have seen the lock engage a little earlier, right about here. Because with time and use, either the metal of your liner or the metal of your tang is going to wear. And over time, that lock will pass further and further until it fails to engage. There's no internal spring, so it just operates on the pivot. So you will have to physically close it. Your secondary blade is a saw blade, a cap lifter, and a rope cutter. They call it a rope cutter, could be a gut hook, anything like that. Saw blade, I don't know if that's going to be a great wood saw. I think it's more tailored towards like a strap cutter or something like that, like a seatbelt cutter. You do have a little bit of a straight edge right on the very tip. Lock up engages sooner with this one, so you'll get more life out of that. No side to side, no up and down, so lockup is good. Again, you have to physically close it. There's no real edge to that, which is good. So if you fail to close it, it's not going to catch or cut or anything like that. Or it's rounded over, it'll almost push it back in. So that's not too bad. You have 6 bits. And your 6 bits include a number 1 Phillips, a number 2 Phillips, a 1/8 slot, a 3/16 slot, a T15 Torx, and a 3/32 hex. And you can see that there's your 3/32 above them. So they're all labeled, which is good. Getting them out of there, we'll push, pulls out okay. A little tricky to get a hold of that Phillips. So for the most part, not too bad to get at, reasonably accessible. If you had big chunky fingers, that might be a little bit more awkward. And then you have out at the tip, you have your bit slot. And that's magnetized, which is good. A little bit of play in there though. So that, with time, depending on the steel used in both the slot and the bits, is going to wear at the corners of your bit. So that could be an issue over time. I wonder, get some standard bits here. I wonder if they'll fit. No, too big. I don't know if it's a Canadian thing, but there's no Robinson in there, which is unfortunate, because probably 90% of the screws I have out in my garage and my workshop are Robinsons, but that's a little unfortunate. But if the steel is good, perhaps that won't be a big issue. You want some fingernails for that. Let's check another one just to be sure. Yeah, still play there. So that may present as an issue over time, depending on the steel. And then here you have 3 Allen keys. This one appears to be a Torx. Let's see what the specs say. You got one that's a hex and a Torx, so yeah, that'll be your hex, that'll be your Torx. And then you have a flat and a Phillips, and then a SIM card extractor. So these all just kind of sit in here. Appears to be magnetized, which is going to help. So that will be your flat and your Phillips. Very tiny, good for maybe working on eyeglasses, things of that nature. And then this little fellow here would be your SIM card extractor. These things are magnetized. Get that into that little slot there. There we go. Lined up with the groove. So my first thought is, how easy for those to fall out. Not coming out in the hand. Well, the retention looks pretty good on those. They're not falling out. Neither are your bits, but your blade popped out. Oh, that one started to slide a bit. Let's try from this end. Coming out a little bit, but I don't think if you dropped it, they would fall out. No, they're not falling out, so they're moving a little bit, but not popping out, so that's good. Does not appear to have a pocket clip of any kind and did not come with a pouch, so this is going to be a true pocket dropper. Either throw it in your pocket or in a gear bag, in a EDC pouch, in your tackle box, in your glove box, something like that. Now, it doesn't say with the product information provided that I could find what the steel is, but I did check the Amazon listing, and it says both 3CR13 and 2CR13 steel. So 3CR13 is a Chinese-made steel, low to mid-grade steel. Be similar to American 420 steel. It's got decent hardness, pretty good toughness, moderate corrosion resistance, and easy to sharpen. The 2CR13 steel it doesn't have any chromium in it, so it's less corrosive resistance than the CR13 and less hard than the CR13. You'll see some knives made with CR13 steel. A lot of times medical equipment, things like that, is made with CR13 steel. Some of your moderate to low end kitchen knives and whatnot. So for what this is, I think that's a pretty decent steel. You're not going to go out and do any heavy hard tasks with a blade like this. It's mostly going to be a box opener, rope cutter, things like that. It's not, you're not going to go out and carve up a tree or baton wood or skin a deer or anything like that. It's not a tactical self-defense knife. So for just a multi-tool with a knife on it, just for the sake of having a knife on it for minor tasks, that's probably a pretty decent steel. And ease of sharpening, that's a bonus too. I don't know what edge grind that is. Doesn't feel terribly sharp to me. No, I can't say it comes terribly sharp. I mean, it will cut. You know what? Let's tune it up a little bit and see what we get. Okay, so there's a few passes on a 600 grit diamond stone, a few passes on a ceramic honing rod, and then a few passes on a leather strop. Took about 2 minutes. Vast improvement. in a bigger piece of paper. So a little bit more time on the stone, and that'd be a pretty good edge. How long is it going to hold an edge? For the amount you're probably going to use a blade like this, a good long time. This isn't going to be, if you're on a work site, this isn't going to be your work site knife. This is going to be that, have it handy, grab it in case you need to cut something, cut a string, cut a thread, open a box, that kind of thing. So even if it didn't have great edge retention, it's still probably going to hold an edge for a decent amount of time. But again, pretty easy to sharpen, so I don't think that'd be an issue. All right, let's have a look at the other tool. So I don't have not a big pop drinker. I don't have anything to pop a cap off of, but we can check out the rope cutter. So I've got some 550 cord here. With some effort, I got through. Not a super clean cut. So that will require some tuning up. Well, I can't speak highly of the rope cutter. Maybe the serrated side will do a better job. There you go. Just for comparison, I brought a couple Swiss Army knives out. These are two 93 millimeters. So you can compare those size-wise. So why don't we compare the two saws and see how they work. Yeah, I believe this is a piece of pine. Let's try the Swiss Army knife first. And now the DuraTech. I think we can say the Swiss Army knife bit in a little bit better. Did a bit better job. But you've got a much more aggressive saw with your Swiss Army knife than you do with your DuraTech. So like I say, this is more apt to use as a strap cutter or something like that. Really not designed for a wood saw. Maybe small branches or something like that, but you're really not going to cut through too much more with this. More apt as like I say, a strap cutter. All right, let's test out some of these little fellows. I'm thinking this one here might be good. Your sunglasses. Yep. Makes a little finesse, but it's the job done in a pinch. You can see it's extracting that screw. And let's try out the SIM card extractor. Here's an old cell phone. I've never popped a SIM card out, so I don't know. There we go. So that works. So when it comes to the steel, I think your 3CR13 is probably your two blades, and possibly the 2CR13 might be your bits and other tools. Could be the metal liners. Pretty sure that's plastic covers. That would be my guess anyways, without further product information. Price-wise, Amazon Canada, you're looking at $21.99. Amazon USA, you're looking at $17.99. My overall thoughts? It's a handy little tool. Seems to be decently well made. I would like to myself see some kind of internal spring just to give some little better retention in the closed position, particularly on this blade here, because it's possible, you could have that in your pocket. You try to, if it opens up a little bit, you try to pull it out of your pocket, it's going to catch. But that's minor. Would be awfully nice if the bits, the retention on those in the bit holder was better. Retention wise, they're magnetic, so that's good, but just that loose fit, that could be tighter. It's going to prolong the life of your bits and your bit holder, because over time something's going to give, something's going to wear, I think. How long it takes, I don't know. You may use this for 10 years before you notice an issue. If you've got meaty fingers, you might have a hard time getting these things out. You want a little bit of fingernail to push them out, or a tool to do that with. You could always pop off one of these tools here. Get it out so far. Pop off your Allen key. And then just give it that last little nudge out. The magnetic retention on the Allen keys seems pretty good. So I've tried to get them to fall out, and they're staying there pretty good. The other bits seem to stay in pretty good. The saw blade, I would consider that, like I said, more of a strap cutter than a saw blade. And your rope cutter, I'm going to have to do a little work to give that a better edge, because it doesn't work that great as a rope cutter, and I don't think it would work that great as a seatbelt cutter. But retention on everything is good. No blade play at all. So for the price, I mean, 20 bucks give or take. I think it's a useful tool, good thing to throw in the glove box, or EDC pouch or in your pocket. Certainly a budget-friendly alternative to some higher-end multi-tools. Would I take this over, say, a Swiss Army knife? For certain functions, no. You're going to end up with a better blade, a better saw, better cap lifter. You don't have the variety of bits, but you do get some with a Victorinox or a Wenger or other Swiss Army knives. You can get a flathead, you can get a Phillips. You don't have the versatility of all the tools here. And I guess it's going to matter what you use it for. Some people might find these smaller tools very attractive, and you're not going to get that with a lot of your Swiss Army knives or your multi-tools. So, some good design elements. Seems like it would be durable. Just out of curiosity, does the hex provided fit the... No, does not appear to. Just a hair too big, I think. Would have been nice though. You could take and just hand crank those down a bit if they were getting loose. So, is this the tool that's going to save your life? Well, it depends on what you consider saving your life. If you need to get the SIM card out of your cell phone or tighten some loose screws or whatnot, maybe so. But might make a nice stocking stuffer at Christmas time. For me, where I tend to carry and have different knives, either in my pocket or in my vehicle, does that jump out at me as an incredibly useful tool? No. But I drive a Jeep. I carry a lot of tools in my Jeep. For a person that doesn't have a regular use for tools, could be a handy thing. As you get a few bits and different tools, a knife, should you need to do some minor cutting, open some boxes. So, could come in handy for that kind of person. Me personally, not a tool I would find, I don't think, a lot of regular use for. Certainly something I would throw in the glove box in my vehicle and maybe remember it someday when I had a little job to do and maybe didn't have the exact thing I needed. But for some people, there's going to be some good use for that. Would I consider it a hiking camping tool? No, it doesn't have, I don't think, the durability for that. This is more of an urban EDC type item. But for $20, I'm sure you'll get more than your value out of it over time. Anyway, folks, I hope you enjoyed that overview. Not a bad little item. Seems reasonably well built. Some thought went into it. A few tweaks, as I've mentioned, that I wouldn't mind seeing on it. Some improvements. Is it the thing for me? No. But certainly, people live different lifestyles, and this might be the perfect item for somebody else. At the very least, it'd be great in the junk drawer in your kitchen. Just when you need a quick item to grab to maybe do a little repair on a pot handle or something like that. Open that package that Amazon just dropped off. Probably the what they call a rope cutter would be a good string cutter. If you had a package that came, I don't know if they do that anymore, but packages used to come tied with string. I'm sure that would certainly cut the string off of a package like that. Not a hard use item, but certainly could come in handy. And I like things that come in handy, so there you go. $20 give or take, I don't think you can go wrong with it. Now, I don't have any discount codes or product codes, referral codes, or anything like that. If you think it's interesting, might have some use for it, go look for it on Amazon. Anyways, I hope you all have an awesome day. Hope the weather's great where you are. If it is, go for a little walk in the woods. Go spend some time with the trees. They're great listeners. They don't talk back. You all have a great day.